Hey guys, what's going on? If you're new here, welcome. My name is BrittanyNichole, and today I wanted to share a little DIY Pottery Barn $700 AMATE paper frame dupe that you can get for literally under $50 per frame. So first and foremost, please ignore this awful chandelier. I rent this apartment. I did not choose that. It was just here and I hate it. So we're gonna ignore that and focus on these frames that are from Pottery Barn for $699 each. These are AMATE paper frames. AMATE paper is beautiful. From the research that I did, and I'm not an expert, creating AMATE paper from tree bark is an ancient Mexican tradition, and I think it's absolutely beautiful that they can create these pieces from tree bark. I love bringing nature into my home. I really like natural textures, natural colors. So when I saw these, I needed to have them, but I did not want to spend $699 per frame, which just seems ridiculous. Now I think the Pottery Barn frames are bigger, but I chose to do a little bit more of a wider mat in my frame. If you wanted to, you could do this without a mat completely. You can lay it right on watercolor paper, or you can get a bigger frame. Sky's the limit. You can make this work for you. I'm doing a little bit of like a gallery wall type of situation with this to take up some space on my wall, which you'll see, but this is super easy and super affordable. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so if you're gonna DIY this project like I am, this is everything you'll need. Like I said, each one is under $50 to create. So I have 4 pieces of watercolor paper laid down under the AMATE paper. Those were about $3.50 each from Blick. Really, really nice quality. I wanted something with a little bit of texture, and my cat hair is on it, go figure. But I'm gonna cut those down to my frame size, so I'll show you that. And then I have the 4 pieces of AMATE paper here. This one I'm not gonna keep. I'm actually gonna order the lace version in solid brown like that guy from a different website. I got all 4 of these AMATE papers from Blick for about $15.50 each, but like I said, I just don't love that. I just wanted something for a placeholder. I think the brown lace will look much better. I'll show you in a second my frame size, but I wanted to show you guys this. So I have these from Target. They're vintage Turkish rug inspired frames, which I really like. And that's not a mat around it. That's just like a solid piece of paper. And you could do that too with this if you could find the appropriate frame that you like. I just couldn't find that. This size, which is 16 by 20 matted to 11 by 14, was really like the biggest I could find with a wood frame that I liked. So I just wanted to mention that. So coming over to the frames, like I said, these are 16 by 20 matted to 11 by 14, and the mat is pretty thick. So if I wanted to, I could cut the paper down, get rid of the mat, and do kind of a similar situation to the Turkish rug, or you could get a custom frame. These aren't the best quality. I mean, I would never pay their actual price of $49.99. For $19.99, it's okay, but this one came pretty banged up. I'm actually gonna return this one, which is why it's still in the package, but they're nice for what they are. So I'll link them down below if you can get them, you know, with a coupon for $19, and they are glass. That's important. I wanted a glass frame. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this little like filler marble thing out. I'm gonna lay that on the watercolor and cut it out so I can use that as the background. And then I'll cut these down. These are an odd size. They're 15.5 by 23.5, such a strange size, but I can't remember what size the Blick watercolor paper is, but again, everything will be linked down below, but that would look so good if you could find a frame that size. So good. So let's go ahead and get started. You know, it's times like this where having somebody to help film you do the process is key, but I don't have that. So we're gonna try our best here. All right, so like I said, the first thing I need to do is cut out the watercolor to match the size of this little like filler insert thing. So I'm just gonna lay that right on top and then cut around it with scissors. If you have like a paper cutter, or if you can go to Kinko's or Staples or something like that, that would be a lot more precise than this, but I'm just gonna wing it. Okay, so that's not perfect. I ended up kind of, when I got to the top, cutting that out just to have it be kind of a smaller piece of paper, and then I went in and kind of fine-tuned it. So I just want to show you guys, if you didn't do this with a mat, which maybe I won't, I don't know, let's see. I just want to place this in there. There was some writing on it, so I want to make sure that's not on there. I just want to place that in. I might have to cut this a little bit more, like that. I do need to put the piece of AMATE paper in first so you guys can see what that looks like. Now I think this is too tall though, so I'm gonna need to cut it down a bit. I'll do this side down. I will cut it down in a second. I just wanna show you guys. So this way the piece will look bigger than with the mat. So you see? Now there's obviously no like frame around it, like frame with just the paper, because my frames are smaller. But if you did something like the Target frames that I showed you, I think that would look super cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my mat back in this way. And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna fold it over for now, at least. Put my paper in. And grab my back. And it seems like there's a decent amount of room with this. Thank goodness. Like, you know how some frames are really like tight, and if you put anything too big in there, you can't close it? Seems like there's a decent amount of room with these backs. So I think I can leave it like it is. And there we go, 1 down, 3 to go. I think that looks awesome. I think putting the little bit of watercolor paper behind the actual AMATE paper looks really good. I wouldn't use anything glossy, keeping it matte and a little bit of texture. I mean, if you wanted to, you could go in with like a super textured piece of paper under it, watercolor or any other kind of paper. Blick has a ton. We kind of played around laying the AMATE paper on top of it, but I definitely think the watercolor, just kind of plain with a little bit of texture, looks best because it allows the actual AMATE paper to kind of shine through. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of these. I'm glad I didn't have to cut the AMATE paper. I could just bend it. Makes life a little bit easier. So I went ahead and set them up in my built-in so you guys could see what they look like. I am so impressed with these, you guys. Total cost $154 for all 4. That is amazing. Again, this last one here is gonna be replaced with the brown lace, and then I'll replace the frame when I get the new frame because that one's all beat up, but these look so good and high end. I'm actually gonna go ahead and put them on that very dirty wall right there. That wall needed something to take up a lot of space, and these will definitely do the trick, but they look so good. I cannot wait to get them up. Typically, I do not hang things, but I cannot wait for somebody to help me because I love them. All right, so I know I said I was just gonna hang them, but then I realized I need to get wire to hang them, or one of those like claw hanger things. So I need to figure that out. So I'm not gonna hang them, but once I have them hung, I will show you in another video. So I hope this was helpful if you are interested in kind of DIYing something that is insanely expensive for a much more affordable cost. Plus, when you do something on your own, I feel like you just love it that much more. You're proud of it. So I will eventually show you when I get them hung, but for now, I'm just gonna leave you with this. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe so you could see them when they're hung, and for more DIY home videos. I am so into home and DIY and just making, you know, my space feel comfortable. So make sure you subscribe for more. If you're interested in following me day to day, give me a follow on Instagram as well. I love to connect with you guys on there, and you'll see lots of George, my French bulldog, and Stanley and Theo, my cat. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye. I mean, is there any way I can make that chandelier invisible? Nope.